So if I pause him at this position, this is where bowling I think is going to come in handy. And we pause you here. Notice how your right hand, are you a right-handed bowler?
Yeah.
Okay. So notice how your right hand's underneath the grip here.
Yeah.
So in bowling, if we were to throw a hook shot, right, at the center of the pin, well then I would bowl like those pro bowlers, right? They kind of throw it out and then draw it back. So my hand, in order to throw a bowling shot, would do something like this. So that's not throwing, right?
Yeah.
If we had a bowling ball in our hands, yep. If we would throw it like that, well, we might get some gutter balls, we might get some whatevers, right? Yep, exactly. That's funny, actually. Recorded me doing that. Oh, that, perfect. There's you doing it, perfect. And there's me doing it wrong. There's you doing it right and me doing it incorrectly by throwing it like that. Yeah, perfect, perfect. Get that on video there. Yep,
Okay.
yep. So it's that bowling technique, bam. If we can get that hand to kind of roll over like in bowling, well, it's going to get us some control and some energy. Instead of it being kind of like a flick at it, right? So what we're going to kind of start by doing is like, okay, let's work on that different setup, and we're going to try that bowling technique where go ahead and take your normal setup, just kind of new grip with your normal setup. So if this kind of trail hand throws like this, we're going to get really under it, as opposed to if we can kind of learn how to hook shot it like in bowling and release it this way. It's not easy to do, don't get me wrong, but notice as we come into impact, if I turn this, I'm not really throwing the club, I'm just kind of turning the face and giving it some energy. This is actually getting that head to go really, really kind of in front. This gives you a little bit of less consistency and not as much power or energy as maybe we would want long term.
It still connects, but it's following through and twisting back.
Yes, exactly. Yep. So we're gonna do a couple drills first before we insert any golf balls, but we definitely will hit some more shots here today. One more like that. Perfect. So now, easier said than done, but let's just roll a golf ball in there and let that golf ball get in the way of that energy. We'll see what we get. Well, we do have a little bit of a tendency to kind of whip our hands through it. Notice on the right side, the body just stops.
Yeah.
And then it's just hands, right?
Yep.
Basically, the only thing giving any energy to this is your hands kind of flicking, which is, again, limited. So now our club head becomes really, really in front of our hands there. We showed you that, but we didn't really drill it, did we? We just said, hey, take this new swing, our new grip, kind of take this new turn, and we'll see what happens. Well, now we go into impact, and, oh, well, holy crap, man. Your hands are in front of the club head.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Remember we saw our tour pro, Zach Johnson?
Yeah.
That's amazing difference. And now as we follow it through, those hands aren't whipping the club, they're just turning it. And look at how linearly you kind of follow through. Hands are in a much different scenario than they over here on the right-hand side. And you basically, your swing just stops right there too, right? Like on your previous one, you didn't really have much of a follow through just because really it was just hands whipping. I didn't tell you to do any of this, but your hips are turning more, your shoulders are more towards the target, your arms are more extended off your body, your knees kind of more, like all these visuals, I didn't say anything about that at all, right? Just the functionality at play. If we were to draw a little exoskeleton of elbows, hands, and shaft angle, well, that looks pretty darn good. Really, really nice job. And again, I can't stress enough, this is just happening.
Yeah.
Right? It just happened because of the way that we're now bowling the golf ball instead of trying to hit the golf ball. Awesome visual similarities here too. So what your right hand's truly doing now is kind of shaking hands with the target, so to speak, right? We talked about it going over the top as a field. It's basically just hooking a ball back to the pocket, right? Let's get some strikes, right? So like I say, it might seem weird, but like I think bowling and golf have extremely similar parallels, right? Like in what sense, if you want to be good at bowling anyway, what sense would it make to bowl the ball like this?
Yeah.
And just have the body do absolutely nothing, right? And just have the hands flick it. Exactly. First coming into it, right, I'm going to come in. I like what you said. I'm kind of almost like releasing from the hip here. So I'm going to kind of step into it. I'm in my posture. My body, like I'm doing some things, right? My body's moving. I'm motioning it, right? I'm getting it to release. You got to see how my hands kind of work. And my body's going to kind of react to that energy. I see how I'm kind of getting through. So here's bowling. And here's golf. Same thing. We're just holding the club instead of holding the ball. You know what I mean? And then the lane's a little bit bigger in golf. And then they put trees and shit and nonsense in our way to make it even more complicated. You can't play bumper golf, unfortunately. But again, I think there's this simple energy there. It makes the body kind of react. act in the way that we'd like to as a golfer. You know what I'm saying? We beat 65 on a half swing. So let's just have some fun and just open it up a little bit, right? I don't want you to go crazy, but let's just take like some fuller swing and feels within these kind of contexts and see how far we hit the ball. I rarely say, hey, we're going to hit a certain distance today, but I think we're going to get 100 yards out of you today. So 82 is our furthest so far. So first and foremost, big nuts there. That's awesome, right? So we were at 63, then we went to 70, now we're at 82. Here's how I want to do it, though. I'm going to just kind of demonstrate real quick. You just kind of stand kind of where I was over there. Perfect. So same process, same swing. I don't want you to change a thing. But we're going to add one little caveat to your practice swings. I want to hear turf interaction 3 times. So I want to hear 1, 2, 3.
Okay.
A few of your practice swings, we would miss the turf,
Yeah.
right? So I think if we say same function,
Yep.
same thing, new grip, lean forward, bowl those hands, let's say, right? But if we can make sure we hear that turf 3 times with that function, we're getting over 100 yards today before we leave. That's the way I see it. So 3 little practice swings. Full swing, sure, hands are turning quick, bowling fast. Let's make sure we hear that Mac. Perfect, there's 1. One more. There's 2. And take that same function into a golf ball, and we're going to cluster this out. Let's see if we can pop one into triple digits here today. Notice the distinct difference between this shot here and that shot there, right? That's why I want that turf interaction. Here's the other cool thing. That went 86 in the air, brother. So we hit our furthest shot in the air now. You know what I mean? So now we're even changing that context. So I'm telling you, man, we are hitting this golf ball 100 yards before we wrap up today. You're only 3 yards off. I might be selling you a couple yards short even. I know 100's coming. That's not me saying I think we can do it. I'm telling you it's going to happen. Like I told you, we're getting 100 yards. That's why I was so definitive. Like, there ain't no way he's not hitting 100 yards. And I said, I think I'm selling you a little short, but when you get one, wonderful job. So again, we just keep on pushing that needle, don't we?
Yeah.
Now it's 100 yards in the air, let alone frickin' total distance, 120 yards. And guess what? I know what direction it's going. It's either going to go straight or a little left. But my best shots come when I make sure I get down to that turf, right?
Yep.
Same form, same function, lean forward, love that adjustment in real time. Here's where we were, here's where you are now.
Yep.
Wonderful. Now we can get back, bowl those hands through. That is fantastic.
And then I was playing my right foot. I was always keeping it here. Now when I follow what
Yeah.
you said about like
Sure,
bowling,
sure. Again, I think that's the easiest logic we
Yeah.
can say to you today. Think about it. What sense would it make for me to bowl like this? None. So don't golf like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It would be kind of the easiest way to phrase it, right? Again, man, I think golf and bowling are more or less the same game, just with massively different objectives.
Yeah.
But as far as what the body's doing, I think they're very, very similar. And I suck at bowling. But that being said, I think we could capitalize. If you know, at least understand how I'm supposed to bowl, or if you're a better bowler than I am, right? Then I can kind of take some things and use it. Like this, yeah, that would make no sense to do that in bowling, right? So let me not do that. You know what I'm saying? Awesome job. That is incredibly good.